of
How
the
we doing?
Loud Lens podcast, possible YouTube, depending on how terrible I drop this light on my face again, with the incredible Luna slash Amanda slash graphic designer, everything demigod, my marketeer, my queen. Introduce yourself, though, because I'm going to do it real poor justice.
Do you know, Khandie, I love how much of a cheerleader you are, and I will be forever grateful. So I'm a multi-potentialite.
I love
So
that.
it's a great phrase. It's a great phrase. I think, so let me go back. Yeah. So I started as a textile designer in my life, and I have designed print and pattern for ladies wear, men's wear, kids wear, athleisure, swim. I've designed product for homewares. Like my CV is like a monopoly board of all of the retailers.
Only the
I've
deep ones.
yeah, well, naturally, I've worked for retail and wholesale, all sorts really. So I've done photography, I have done modeling, not so much now because I'm slightly older. I'm still putting myself out there. You know what I mean? 50
Beautifully
this
so.
year. No, 50 last year. 50 on New Year's Eve. Woohoo! Half a century. Don't even know my own birthday. Anyway, yeah. So multi-potentialite. So you call me Luna because Luna's my nickname. When we met, I was Luna, and that's my stage name because also used to do a bit of stage stuff like you, and still with the old singing and stuff with my partner, who's amazing.
What's your band called? The Rockets?
So we are now the Real Memes Freaks, but we're kind of getting some stuff together. So yeah.
I love that. So I brought you on to talk about why photographers suck at marketing and how they can fix it, because that is one of your great fortes you work with me on. I realize it's a little clickbaity, but I like this bluntness that we have, and we have kindred spirits when it comes to bluntness.
We do. And we also got the memo about wearing yellow today.
I know. I think it's my hair now is more yellow than everything else. I've got yellow there. I don't know what that yellow is, but I've got yellow there.
That's good. That's good.
So I was just thinking, we talked about marketing. You have done mine. So if anyone came to the photo show last year, they would have got a booklet to my talk, and it was all designed by you. And we worked on that. I say we worked on it. I gave you ideas. You ran away and came out of ideas I could never have thought of, and were incredible. And they were so popular. I don't even think I have one for myself. They went like crazy. And what I'm loving is people are like taking pictures and showing me what they've done with them. So why do you think, as both a person who's in the industry as a photographer, but somebody who works in marketing in all different aspects, why do you think marketing is such a, as they call it, a pain point for photographers specifically?
I think if you're a creative, it's very hard to do all of the desky stuff, isn't it? And let's be honest, marketing ain't fun. Like I'm sure you can find a way to make it fun, but it really isn't fun. It's admin, it's paperworky. It's like, oh man, why would you want to spend a couple of hours putting a plan together rather than going off with the fairies, creating some gorgeousness? I'll tell you why, because you need people to bloody book you.
And that's it. I think that's one of the things they don't realize. I think when I see photographers, they make a pretty picture, they make a great thing, but then they sit there and go, "Why am I not getting booked?" I'm like, well, because the main task of being in business is your marketing, which is why I always get annoyed when jobs come in and go, "We haven't got a lot of money for marketing." That should be your biggest expense,
right? And I have to say, with all the work you've done, you are a guru, and people should be asking you questions as well.
I mean, I'm very lucky that during the panorama, aka the lockdown, let's make it photography specific, I went on loads of courses, and I also did that social media analytics course, and I do a lot of that. I like numbers, which is weird because I never used to. And I think for me, working with numbers helped me change. But then there was that whole upheaval in my personal life where I was struggling, and there was a horrific moment. And I know I've used this phrase already, but you and my friends all banner around, you have to rise from this and all that. And then I was watching that Harry Potter thing. There was a phoenix flying. And I was like, okay, this is the Omen. This is not the Omen from the horror movie, but the Omen. Yeah, that was it. I've got to get for Dumbledore. And I changed, and I decided to have this. I would say no F's given, because underneath, I'm still a sensitive soul. A little bit.
Still give a little bit of an F.
Yeah, of course I do. But I also not that much. That's how many. The world's smallest violin will get played if someone insults me. I decided that there was too many yes people saying yes and going, oh yeah, it's fine. Like I don't understand. Like I go to some trade shows and I'd be like, what? And then everyone was like, it's the most amazing thing ever in the whole wide world. And I was like, what were you at? I didn't see that. Realise it's because a lot of people in photography are so quick to say yes because they think it will get them somewhere. And actually, people like me who go, you're just full of, I don't want to say that, but like, it's kind of, there was a lot of people. I mean, I'm not talking about anything in specific, but I remember going to something and I was like, there was nothing there. And people were like, it was amazing, it was amazing. And I was like, why? If I and this whole idea that we can't, I'm not criticizing individuals, that's not okay. But like if you're paying something or there's a service offered, is it because I feel like photographers are kind of just used to just saying yes so they can always just be the yes people? We're always worried about our reputation. And I'm like, but imagine having a reputation for just being constantly agreeable, even when it's plain in your face you're being taken advantage of.
I think very interesting points, by the way. I think there's several kind of aspects to this. Firstly, it's hard to step outside of the boundaries if you think you're going to get shot down and it's going to ruin your chances going forward, right? But then that's not really aligning to being yourself if you believe something different,
no.
Which then your opinion is still valid, even if it's not the majority.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and also having it took a while for me to have the confidence to do that.
Yeah,
like, I always try and like a positive. I mean, the military would call it a shit sandwich. You know, you have, you know, I don't know what else you call it. I don't know, but I
sandwich. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't ever go in with like this mindset. I hate it. Otherwise, why would I spend my money to go? But sometimes I've been to some gatherings, social photography groups, and I've been like, well, this is hell. Like
you can be honest without having to be mean.
Yeah,
and I valid, and we can discuss opinions and disagree.
Listen, mate, I will die on a hill if you tell me that you do not like the hazelnut croissant.
I do not like hazelnut. I like the plain one. Oh no, don't make me have one with fillings. I just can't.
What? They're the best. Lidl did that. Little bakery. Where is that? There are bakeries available, but they're pants. So I won't be getting brand as many bakeries unless you want to change my mind. I just sit there and I mean, I've had some great experience in places where people have said they've not enjoyed it, and I appreciate that. But I feel when it comes to, that's part of my marketing, that people expect me to be honest. I say people expect me. No one's actually said that, but they know that I don't mince my words, and they're like, if Khandie doesn't like, I mean, one of my comments was, I just love how you just say how it is. And I'm like, well, how else did you expect me to say?
Why wouldn't you? Exactly. Why wouldn't you? And I love the fact that you have no filter. Like, I literally...
I'm sure the brands wish I did.
But no, because you need to, you know, it's going back to you're allowed an opinion. Go on, sorry, go on.
No, there's a turning point for me. I didn't mention this previously, but the turning point for me was I got sent a product and they asked me to unbox it live on IG, and I was like, you really don't want me to? And they're like, no, it'd be great. And I unboxed it and I couldn't hide my face how disappointed I was. And I know I don't have one. I don't. It's like my face will tell you if I don't like you. I can't help it. And I think that's a nice honesty to have. That doesn't mean I hate you. It just means I wouldn't want to spend time with you. You know, it's okay. It's not great for your mental health either to want everyone to like you.
No, exactly. And let's also not forget that quite often our concentrating face is resting bitch face. I know my concentrating face.
That's my regular face. I think when it comes to marketing, people really struggle between differentiating themselves as a person and as a business. I always think as Khandie Photography is a business entity that I've created. It's very much derived from my personality in my personal life. But if you insult Khandie Photography or Khandie the photographer, you are not insulting me.
You personally. Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's somebody's opinion. And that's valid. They can have an opinion. Yeah. Nobody's saying it's right or wrong. It's just an opinion. That's okay.
And while we were on the subject of asking the herd for the information, tedious link, what do you think is problematic with photographers who then go off and seek marketing advice from their peers or from someone who is very specifically for photographers? There is also a good side. I'm not going to say that, but why I think people should get advice from a far more expansive audience.
It's a tricky one. If you don't know where to go and it's your first foray into it, it's very easy to kind of just, you know, remain in that little safe circle. And of course, you're going to go to people who you trust or that kind of, set something alight in you and says something you think, oh yeah, great. But please, not take your business from 0 to 6 figures in these 8 easy steps. Like, do not go there.
I just did a video on how to get your first 100 because I think getting your first 100 is far more.
I love that. And you put, right. If you haven't listened to that, then go and listen to that, because that is
Did you know work in there?
No. So get me back on the train of thought, because it's
why do you think it's problematic for them to seek marketing advice from owning a biz?
So if you were going to go and research, let's do an analogy. If you were going to go and research how to make a recipe for a cake, are you going to go to one source? You're probably going to go to your favorite cook or chef, but you're probably also, or you should do, actually go and have a little look and see what some other people say, because you might be able to take bits and pieces from each to give you a much more rounded way of taking it forward.
This is gold. This is gold. Like, I listen, I think it's great sometimes to eat on the menu, but don't we all love a bit of a buffet? Like, can you tell I'm hungry?
You might want to go a la carte. You might want to go a la carte.
Yeah.
Fancy takeaway. Do you know what I mean? But just always cross-reference, because somebody might have come from a slightly different background, and you can take that and transfer it into photography.
I also think you start churning out cookie cutter. So I know when someone's been on a certain person's course because they have the same graphics and they also have the same template. Yes. And I couldn't think of anything worse to offer a bespoke service as a photographer and then use templates that are sent out to 1,000 other people.
You're not going to stand out. You're not going to stand out. If you're following a template, a cookie cutter, is it actually you, and does it actually represent your personality as a brand?
No. So I always do social marketing analytics on strategy on my own business every quarter. It's a personal thing. I quite enjoy it. I look at how I've changed my business, who I'm aiming for. And I know at the start of the year, I tend to aim, yes, there's the wedding side, but I'm phasing my weddings out. News alert. Yeah, just because I only do 30 weddings a year and I want to keep it a quite low number because I enjoy them, but I don't want to exhaust myself anymore. And also I'm getting other work elsewhere. So I'm pushing more my corporate branding and stuff like that, and doing these like really cool, edgier branding shoots for what was normally like a mainstream business. So I did this amazing shoot for a solicitor's firm who wanted to show the more human side of them, because traditionally they've had this very stoic look, and it was so cool. They asked for more color, it was right up my street. And I did it, and they're like, we love this. And then they told their other sister chains, and now I'm doing all of them over the UK.
Viral marketing. Viral marketing is the best marketing, right?
But I never changed. But the other thing is, I found that the more I presented myself, or the persona I've created for myself online, which is very much similar to my personal life, so it's very natural, organic, I got more bookings. In what I didn't share as much of my work, but sharing more of me and my personality, and being afraid to sort of go, I don't like that, I don't stand for that. And then I noticed, and you've probably noticed, I say you probably noticed because you stalk me, right? Obviously, because I'm really famous. On my reels, being very honest about how I've been getting items, because someone said to me, wow, you must spend a lot. And I was like, no, that softbox was sent from that company. And I've done unboxing saying, I want you to know that most of the stuff you see, if I've got it from a company, hey, I'm just taking the delivery today and I'm going to do an unboxing with everybody. I want you to know that I don't pay for this. So don't think I'm making like the money that I can afford all this cool stuff. I get this cool stuff because I'm online being me.
But this is part of kind of pulling apart the mystique of, honestly, it does my head in. Like, nobody is magically, imbued with all of this wonderfulness. Like, you work your ass off. Quite a lot of the time we're doing skill swaps or service swaps. Quite a lot of the time we are doing a bit of a hustle on the side, because the nature of photography can be like this, based on seasons and look at the climate at the moment. We've got the cost of living crisis. If you've got spare pennies, you ain't going to book a photo shoot. You're going to spend it up on the next price hike in the supermarket for your food. So
Microsoft have just told us the prices are going up for the cloud service.
I
know, disappointing. But I think you're right. People when they market, they go, buy this product, and I'm like, that's cool, but do I need that product? And then if you go, hi, I'm so and so, I'm a mum of 4, and this is what I do, this is my passion, I want to capture the moments for you so you're in your kids' pictures more. That is clever marketing. Just showing me your product isn't.
Yeah. But this is it. This is the whole kind of see the fact that influencers have had success and then taking that on board, and it doesn't feel very authentic, and it's massively oversaturated. Like, we're all bored of that now. You need to find a new way. And the going back to the point about you being you online, people want to buy from a human, not a robot, not a marketeer, not a salesperson, not a photographer. They want to feel comfortable. They want to feel safe, especially if they're a non-model, like somebody who is just like off the street or just wants a family portrait. They want to know they're going to be safe in your hands without the expectation of, oh God, feeling really nervous in front of the camera. You need to be able to have that connection and, tease out that exuberance and piece of them that gets them the photo where they can see themselves reflected in the manner that they would like.
Why do you think then photographers seem to prioritize the technical skills, so they'll go on like courses for posing and all this, over their own marketing? Whereas I think marketing should be the biggest part of any of your business. Obviously it's part of admin, but you're not going to get people coming to you if they don't know you exist and you're not selling yourself right.
I think that maybe some people are not confident in certain areas and maybe think a course is going to solve it, which it will help, but quite a lot of the time solves it, experience solves it, and you could still take a really awesome photograph. The pose might not be perfect, but it's not going to ruin the photograph. It's still going to be a great photograph. Do you know what I mean?
I think a lot of photographers, and I see this when I'm in the group, they're photographing for the approval of other photographers and not the approval of their clients. And that's when they do their marketing, they think of other photographers in mind and not the client as such.
Well, let's roll it back. So if you are a family or you're a couple and you want to get engaged and you want an engagement shoot,
you're proposing.
When you get those photos back, are you going to be going, well, they fucked up that pose? Or are you going, oh, do you know what? That's a really lovely moment that totally encapsulates the love we have for each other. I mean, I don't mean to be unkind, but Joe Public doesn't give a fuck about the poses. As long as they if they feel amazing in the shoot, they will look amazing in the shoot. Doesn't need to be pose perfect. Posing helps. Great if you can get it, but it's about the feeling. And when they get the photograph, it's taking them back to the feeling, and that's what makes the photograph.
This is my thing. The only time your pose really essentially matters is when you're doing fitness workout, because you need to make sure it's safe.
Or boudoir. Yeah, or boudoir or like high fashion. That's,
I don't really get... You do see it though, photographers who are like, I'm not selling, like, because you spend too much time in photography groups. Go meet your client in their Facebook groups. Go chat. Go make connections. Stop trying to make friends with photographers. Not there's nothing wrong with that, but like, you're not talking to your client.
Photographers aren't going to buy from you, and also you allowing the walls to come away and let people see you for you. In all of your socials and your channels.
The biggest. God, sorry, okay.
People will buy from people they like, and like I say, they want to feel like they're working with a human who gets them and who isn't some kind of, scary, like, not scary, but you know what I mean?
Well, at the moment, I advocate for not having a logo on your social media as your profile picture. The moment I changed from my horrible logo, the original logo, because now you're working on a new one, because she's the queen, she loves me, to my face in my living room, my pink suit, I saw a 33% interest rise in booking inquiries.
They see your face, they see your personality, they get a taste of what Khandie's like.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. You're creating a bespoke product, but you're not showing the you, which is the essentially bespoke part of it. People are like hiding behind. They spend so long doing a logo, and I really appreciate it. And we love a logo, but they then spend no time in doing the strategy or their branding or choosing. Like I did it. I had a grey and purple background logo because I was told
you did. Yeah. No. That's fine. It was your
No, she's
fine.
fine. It was awful. And it was...
You knew nothing about that then, so it's okay.
Yeah, but, I got rid of it and now I'm happy. And I've lived... And the logo we're developing now is beautiful. And although the branding colours are all there, I've got my branding colours here, I know what my message is now. Now, this might change in 4 years' time, even in a year's time. But the fact is, it's an organic progression. I do believe that photographers do need to stop looking at their peer group for so much advice. Oh, no, that's not right. The advice is great. But when it comes to marketing, if all you're going to go to is other photographers, you're going to market like every other photographer. Look at the other realms, like yourself, who works in this industry, who works in a very fashion-forward industry. It would make absolute sense if I was a fashion photographer or someone who was doing lifestyle shoots with bloggers, influencers, to go to someone like you and say, hey, could you help with my marketing? I'm struggling this. And you would go, well, this needs doing, change this up, because I know when someone's been on a course with another branding group, because I can see.
Exactly. And likewise, these people should also come to you and look at what you're doing, because you do an amazing job. So, let's just put that out there.
Oh.
But again, with the logos, I think it's difficult. So, like, obviously I've been a graphic designer, I've tutored graphic design at the college. So I have a very clear idea of what it should look like. I know about the rules of graphic design, but you know what, rules are made to be broken. So we don't need to necessarily follow it correctly. Just make sure if you can't, like, don't make your logo really fancy with really crazy lettering and try to be too clever. Like, if you don't know what you're doing or you don't feel confident, like, don't worry about getting a cookie cutter one off of Etsy or Canva. Just simplify shit. Just have some nice, legible text that you can see from afar. Make sure that if you're just going to do initials or something, or you're going to have an icon, make sure that once it's reduced to, the social hotspot thingy majig.
Yeah, they're tiny little.
Like that big. Make sure that you can actually see it and it's legible. And, make it relevant or make it irrelevant. Make it irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't need to be a bloody picture of a camera or a lens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this, because I Googled ahead of this. I did some research, people, photography logos, and Etsy churned up loads of others. And I'm not shaming anyone for having them, but the fact is, your logo could be exactly the same as hundreds of other photographers, yet you offer a bespoke service. And I'm like, you need a bespoke logo, and it has to resonate with your brand.
Exactly. And the thing is, if you've got your tagline, or if you've got on your website so-and-so photography or so-and-so studio, it's pretty obvious that you are photographic. So maybe you don't need the icon. Maybe you can put that icon to better use to make you a bit more individual.
Yeah, I do have a slight regret calling myself Khandie Photography, because
no, that's fine. I think that's
because obviously my book was written as Khandie Reese, and I was like, is that a problem? But actually, no, because Khandie, I've kept the name Khandie. It's fine. It's unique enough. But I did start wondering when I was marketing the book, particularly, was I doing it? And I managed to lead people up. I've got graphics to share it all. And I realized people want to be part of that journey. They love the storytelling element of it. And I do believe that is one of the strongest things you can do in your marketing, is to storytell. What do you think on that?
No, absolutely. And I think because people had already, I would like to say, a lot of people that bought your book had already been following your journey.
That's the original manuscript.
If you haven't read the book, go read the book. It's pretty good. But yeah, I think because I think the majority of people that would have bought that have followed you on your journey, therefore know you enough to know that, the namesake doesn't matter. I think it's not an issue putting photography on what you do, because it's what you do. Like, I have a website that is designed by, because that's what I do. And then I have photography because that's also what I do. So is that boring you there?
No, you're right.
I'm kidding. No, but
it makes absolute sense, because I was worried when I did the book that was I established enough to write a book? 500 plus copies later, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But I did get backlash, and I did worry about the fact I did it in a slightly different name. But even when I got the 1 star, I sold 30 copies off the 1 star because I twisted the negative round to the positive. Yeah. And a story told with it.
Tell us what you did with your negative comments, because this is just magic. What do you do with your negative comments, Khandie?
I print them off and store them in a folder, then use them for marketing later. I like to take quotes from them and use them to spin. Someone called me Gobby, and I wrote the gobbiest photographer on the universe, according to their username. Come and see what the hype's about. And I love that. I don't care. Like, you've seen it, right? I've had some horrific negativity at times, and it's weird because this is meant to be a community, and it isn't. It isn't. It is in places, but it also isn't. And I've stopped trying to fit in. I'm happy not.
And the more traction you gain, the more you are in new fields of people. So, we talked about being Marmite before. You're gonna get negativity as well as positivity. It's about how you handle that. Like, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I don't think you have to be a mean wanker to bloody, you can still criticize constructively without being like, there's no need to be an arsehole. However, if you are an arsehole about it, then don't even bother reading the rest. Like, it's just whatever. But we aren't going to be everything to everybody, and there's no way you can be everything to everybody. We will find ourselves being in a particular lane that suits us and suits the people that want to find us. Not everybody's going to like us, and that's cool. That's okay. That's normal.
So I'm going to go back to a very grown-up question.
Cool.
So say, for example, I am starting my whole business rebrand, doing it again. What would be the initial things I need to be looking at? Like, if like, really bluntly, straight out, do this, and then start thinking about this.
So I would say, not only consult your little marketing tips, but a very easy thing to do would be to maybe go on socials or look at photographers who are in the realm of what you want to be, where you want to go. And you can kind of have a look at what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with a bit of borrowing as long as you're honest about it, right?
But look at the right thing. Don't just look at the photos. Look at how they're presenting the photo to the audience.
Exactly. This is the method. This is not the visuals. Do not go and rip off somebody's work because you're too lazy to be creative. Like, look at the method, see what's working, look at how many likes posts have got, and maybe try something in your way that's like that. Or even, like, perhaps jump onto some of the clients or people that have commented, kind of see what they're about, get a sense of your market, get a sense of your target audience.
But people don't want to seem to do the groundwork, or I want to say don't have the time, which shocks me because it should be built into your business plan. But also, if you can't, you need to look at outsourcing, because the only way you're going to get business into your business is by doing marketing and branding. Like, branding will evolve over time, but your marketing is something that I genuinely don't get why people don't spend more time learning how to run a business than they do learning how to pose.
I think it's a tricky one because, let's face it, marketing's boring as hell. Yeah. Like, it's for a creative, it's hard because it's paperwork, it's admin, it's analytics, it's research.
Try already.
Oh my God.
It's my to-do list for today.
But it's essential though, isn't it? It's essential.
Yeah, I have to.
And if you're not that way inclined, then source it out, get somebody else to look after it. That's amazing.
Which is a financial privilege, I realise, but that's what you factor into your business, isn't it? It's I get that you've got a camera, but that doesn't mean you're going to be great as a business. It's horrible to say that, isn't it? To say that not everyone is cut out to run a business.
Business sense is not the same as, a creative sense or any other sense. Business sense is very specific. And it's tough to learn, it's hard to learn, and it doesn't happen overnight. You just need to...
Where would you go as somebody like, if, bear in mind, imagine it was me, I'm not a creative, and I don't have amazing people like you to call upon. If I was out in the wilderness and I was talking around like, I need some help, where could you advise that we go look for to educate ourselves slightly? Now, I would say the Open University does a lot of free courses.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So... there's so many things you can do, right? You could go and join, it depends whether you're after... Are you after creativity? Are you after marketing? Are you after technical? Right? Find out what it is you want to learn first, right? If it's all three, a course could be, a course encompassing all of that could be good for you. So there might be a local camera club There might be, you know, a local studio that does sort of evenings, you know, like you did your photography walks, and there's quite a few studios around me that will have, I mean, I still go to them because you never stop learning. You
No.
never stop learning. And nor should you. Or you can just buddy up with somebody that you know who's a photographer who's willing to allow you to kind of tag along, you know, go on Pinterest, look up what styles you might want to do. Think about photographers who do different things. Like maybe you've got a photographer pal who does pets or who does macro photography. You've got to learn something from them, even if it's not what you want to go down. So, you know.
Well, marketing wise, so if a photographer wanted to improve their marketing, what do you reckon?
So I would suggest looking at a broad spectrum of things. So don't just look at photography. I mean, you've got some bloody awesome tips. You can go on YouTube and you can follow some of your stuff because that's gold. You know, look at the people who are where you want to be, see what they do, look at the method. Think about your target market. Who do they go to? Go and do a bit of research on them. Like think about not just photography. You got one there.
Share this. This was my original marketing plan.
Brilliant.
What days I did when. I just pulled this out because I managed to find this. It's going to go in the bin now, so I don't do it so much now. But that was how basic I did mine.
But also look at local businesses or you know who are doing well and go and speak to them. Maybe you can do a bit of a service swap. Maybe you can get some info off them for a few headshots or portraits or something. I don't know. I just think
I want us as a photography industry to stop going on Facebook and just shouting into the abyss. I want us to start actually doing marketing in a way that says, people, I can't be asked to be on TikTok, I can't be asked to be on Instagram. But that's where your client potential, if that's where your client is, you actually need to be there. So you have to suck it up and get on there. And it's like, I haven't got time for this. Then you don't, I'm sorry, if you don't have time and you can't outsource it, scale back your business. Because you're running a massive expense but not getting the income in. Why would you do that to yourself? And if you go, I can't do it, I can't get my head around it, you know what? You manage to use it, so you've got some element. Look what other people are doing, see what I say, and do it. And do you know what? If it's cringe, do it. Do you think I think it's funny when I'm standing there and I'm like, hi, look, I've got a box from Kate Bechdel. And it is a bit cringe, but do you know what? Cringe makes me laugh when I watch it on other people, right? And I know it's cringe, so I'm owning that shit and I'm doing it. But there's so much about photography where people seem to go down that, no, I can't do it. But you've chosen to run a business. This is part of that business. It is probably the biggest thing you need to learn. And if you can't learn, you have to outsource. If you can't outsource, you need to find a way to get around that. And it might be scaling back.
Also, totally agree with that. Because if you're not going to market yourself, you're not going to reach the people that you need. But also, I want to just add on that, not many people get it right first time. So try lots of different shit and see what sticks, see what works for you. Because what works
from the buffet table.
You know what I mean? What works for a portrait photographer ain't going to work might not work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they might be a different personality. They might have a different way of shooting. Like, you just need to try shit, and that's going to give you all these lessons that you can turn into, okay, right, well, I've ticked that off. That's not the one for me. So I'm going to go this way and this way. And there's nothing wrong with trying 3 different things in a week and just seeing which has the biggest hit. And the things that have the biggest hit, replicate until that starts to drop off, and then do something new. Just don't be afraid to make a mistake. Mistakes are how we learn. If you're not fucking up, you're not moving forward.
I love this. So in our final moments, I want to just not that we're going to die. There's not an end of life here. But are you going to start your own marketing course so we can all jump on and have some seminars with you? Hint, 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 hint.
You know what?
Hint, hint.
I'm gonna start looking at some honest conversations. I don't want to deem it market. I don't want to. Just honest conversations about all this shit, about being creative and how to get yourself out there. And I don't want to label. You know how I feel about labels. Yes.
Good. That was the answer. In the long round, the word she said was yes. And some final words on marketing. If you were going to change one thing today, one thing And don't say my logo because you're doing that. One thing today, would you ask me to change because it's nice to have someone to pick on, me, or generally in photography, would you change? Please pick on me. I want some free advice.
So if I was going to, do you know what? You're already doing an epic job. Like, as for change, I think you've done the work, you've done your research, you've put the time in. And I just want to remind people, you didn't just suddenly wake up like 3 weeks ago and you're, out there and this has been a long journey. Like, this has been since like 2020, you've been doing your marketing, right? 2019.
We've been through a few boyfriends, haven't we? Well, you haven't. You've had one great one and I've had a load of red flags. So many, I like bunting. But you've been through it with me.
I have. I feel like I've been there with you every step.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there you go. That's what we changed. The attitude to the distraction. There we go.
Yeah. That would be it. Yeah. I think people should, I want everyone to set aside 1 hour, that's 60 minutes, 1 hour a week to research. Don't doom scroll, research, not your competitors, but who you want to be like. And if you don't know who you want to be like, that's what you're researching.
Find out. Experiment. Fuck around and find out.
Okay, so where can they find you, Queen? Where can they find you?
Oh, bless you. So I'm adorn _with_ attitude on Insta. I have my design website, which is www. I sound like such a wanker. Design by ACB. .myportfolio.
How do you say www without sounding like one? Because I couldn't think of any other way.
You could be really cringe and go all the W. I don't know. It's horrible, isn't it? Horrible. But I'll send you my links. We can
send it. I'll put them in the podcast and in the description. So this has been The Loud Lens with me, Khandie, your host, and the ever incredible, as she's built on it, Amanda Chapman-Bruce. But to be honest, she's my Luna or Adorned with
Luna.
It's really surreal to call it. Like, I know your name, but you will always be ingrained in my soul as Luna.
Same,
bonding in the back rooms.
Yeah, I know. But you're Khandie.
So, as ever, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow her, stalk her. You'll understand why I love her so much. Hit her up for all your design work. Make sure you pester her to do a marketing course. I don't know why she doesn't apply to speak at the photo and video show on marketing, because I think she'd be an absolute asset to them, particularly in content creation. That's it.
Mainly an absolute ass, but yeah.
No. I think you have this imposter syndrome thing going on. You are incredibly talented. And you're the only person I would trust to do my designs. So if you're at the photo show, you'll be getting a new notebook. She is currently, when I send her the stuff designing. And this is who it is. So yay. And thank you. And we're done.
Thank you. Big love. Thank you.